One of the things that Americans are seeing in the news more and more is obviously a group called ISIS or ISIL or the Islamic State. And it's a fearful group. They're known for cutting off the heads of Americans, for killing people, for terrorism. And there's a lot of coming out about this group in the news media, but it can be really confusing. I found, just as I was looking into ISIS and looking at it just from what I was hearing, that it was confusing to know what was what. There were terms being used that I had never heard before. I didn't know how they were spelled. I didn't know what they meant and what they were in relation to the larger discussion. And you couldn't have missed this if you've been watching the news at all. Even if you don't keep up on foreign events, you probably cannot avoid hearing about ISIS. And as I was reading the articles or reports, I wanted to know more about it, obviously, which is why I have it on the political factions page. As I was reading up on things and watching videos of experts on C-SPAN, experts on the Near East, and our policy, and reading articles and reports online, listening to the radio, watching the television, I came to realize I didn't know a lot of the terms that I needed to know to really understand the discussion. And I feel like I'm not the only one who needs a vocabulary lesson in some of these things, because they're being used a lot, and if you don't know what they mean, then it limits your whole understanding of the whole subject. So the situation with ISIS is a complicated one, and it's even made further complexity is also added to it because of the confusing vocabulary. And many Americans do not understand what ISIS is, where it came from, and what goals that it's set for itself. And this is understandable, but one of the issues is that even when Americans seek to be informed, unless they have an extensive and encyclopedic knowledge of the Middle East, they will be slowed down by not knowing what the vocabulary being used means. And so the educational world has acknowledged that, quote, vocabulary instruction has taken seat in research and practice. That just simply means that as you introduce a new topic or subject in education in school, that it's important to set out what the vocabulary words mean, that they're going to be going over and they're going to be encountering as they learn in the subject. And obviously some words can be picked up by context, but sometimes we just need to boil it down to basics and say, okay, where can I go to find out what these words mean? And without defining some key terms, people, and places, it will be hard to understand ISIS or anything to do with ISIS. And the experts in the media are going to be using these terms, and so if you want to have an accurate understanding of and be able to put these things in context, then we need to understand the different vocabulary that's used. So this article that I posted on political factions, and now the video that I'm making, will attempt to explain some of these people, places, and things in the context of ISIS. We're going to go down to nouns, just the basic nouns. People, places, things, and then we could extend the nouns to ideas. And in our politically correct society, usually we kind of stray away or have a hard time admitting that simply the fact that naturally most of us are Westerners who have a greater level of difficulty understanding Near East names, terms, and places. As I said before, you hear some of these terms spoken and you don't know how they're spelled, so it's hard to look them up later. You're limited by that fact, and I think we should just acknowledge that and then move on. So this post is for all those people who were ready to admit to themselves that they need to know the vocabulary and just start at the very beginning and build from there, and admit that we don't know even all the basics yet.